went into these really deep states, he was up to 85 and 90% accurate. That impressed them quite a lot.
Yeah, did he use special sounds just for him in this case?
Originally they were just for him. Well, now at the Monroe Institute we have a course called Remote Viewing, which we're actually going to do in Europe this coming year in 2009, done by Skip Atwater here in Europe, using those same sounds so that we can learn to be in those very specific states of consciousness for remote viewing.
And so what about the scientific community? I mean, this is a part of the scientific community, of course, but...
Well, that was one of the things that Monroe really liked about working with remote viewing, because remote viewing is the psychic ability that is most scientifically proven and studied ever. You know, the military were extremely interested in these possibilities and spent lots and lots of money creating these programs and, you know, doing statistics and doing scientific research about remote viewing. And so Monroe was very pleased to be able to have something to do with that, because he knew he would get some, you know, hard data about how this really does work. But at the same time, Monroe set up a serious sound and, well, sensory deprivation laboratory. Now in his laboratory, it's totally sound deprivation and electromagnetic deprivation, and you're on a water bed which is heated to the temperature of your body, so you don't have any physical sensations of your body, and using the headphones and listening to the sounds. In the laboratory, you can also be on an electroencephalogram that is measuring your brain waves. You know, that way they could prove consistently how people would move into these states quite quickly, and that they would all have similar kinds of experiences in specific states of consciousness. There are quite a number of different focus levels or states of consciousness that they use at the Monroe Institute, but one of them, for example, which is called Focus 15, was originally defined as a state of no time. It's sort of you were completely out of the realm of time, which is kind of hard for us to imagine with our physical brain, because we're always used to seeing things happening in a chronological order. But when you're actually in this state of consciousness, it don't seem that way. And during one of the Gateway programs, there was a Zen Buddhist monk. He's 92 years old and is accompanied by his 76-year-old secretary. He was doing the Gateway voyage, and on the third day, we are moving into Focus 15. And he got so excited. I mean, I happened to be there when he was there, and he just got so excited that he wanted to talk to Monroe. And Monroe, during the courses, because Monroe didn't train hardly any of the courses, just the first very few, because he was too interested in doing his research. Yes. And so, but this course, the trainer, you know, says to Monroe, well, this monk wants to speak to you. And Monroe, during the courses, didn't usually talk to us because he wanted this to be our experience, and he didn't want to interfere with it. And so, but of course, a 92-year-old Buddhist monk, Monroe thought, well, maybe I will receive him. And so the monk says to Monroe, but do you know what you're doing? And Monroe said, well, you know, I've been at this for like 40 years now. I think sort of I do. And the monk said, but do you realize that these people who have never meditated, one thing that kind of got his attention is that they were actually having fun, because, you know, a lot of Zen Buddhists especially are quite serious. He couldn't believe that, you know, these people were actually having a good time. They'd never meditated, and they were in states of consciousness and working there and having experiences similar to what his monks would have after about 15 years of intense meditation.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Well, he got so excited. His whole monastery, and it's in British Columbia in Canada, is now on headphones listening to Hemisync.
Okay.
Because, well, he says, why go through so much effort when it's not necessary? They continue with their own system, but they complement it with the Hemisync sounds to make the process much quicker. This group, at least, of Zen Buddhists, we're looking for this space of beingness, sort of timelessness. It's a very special state that they don't exactly call nirvana, but it's like just being. And for him, that was one of their chief goals, to reach that state. And he identified that as being, if not exactly the same as Focus 15, very, very similar to it.
All right. Okay, we are reaching the bottom of the hour here, and we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
And then I will get back to you, and we talk more.
Very good.
Stay on the phone.